Hello everyone, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. This is Akansha. In this video, I will go to explain the two name reaction from organic chemistry. Actually, what did I going to do? I will explain here the two name reaction in a single video. The reason behind this is quite simple, that the reactions are interrelated with each other. The first name reaction which I will go to explain here is the Bamford and Stevens reaction, and second one is the Shapiro's reaction. After watching this video, you all will come to know about what is a Bamford and Stevens reaction, what is a Shapiro's reaction, the mechanism, the regioselectivity, the stereochemistry of the reaction. So let us start our journey towards the Bamford and Stevens and the Shapiro's reaction. What I think here, before knowing about this reaction, let us build up the background and know about some groups which will be the substrate and intermediate in this reaction. The first one which I have shown here is the tosyl group, which is a toluene sulfonyl group, which is a good living group, which on reaction with an hydrazine form the tosyl hydrazone. This tosyl hydrazone will use as a substrate in this reaction, which we learn further. Secondly, I have explained here the two intermediate. The first intermediate is an carbanium ion. The carbanium ion is a positively charged ion, highly reactive due to the unstable and incomplete octet. We can call it as a carbocation. The carbon atom carrying the positive charge is an carbanium ion. Nextly, the carbene. The carbene is also the intermediate, which is a neutral carbon atom having the 2 valency and the unshared pair of electron. This is an carbene, which this carbanium ion and the carbene are the intermediate which we will get in the reaction. Now starting the reaction, that's learning about the general reaction scheme. The general reaction scheme is as follows. This reaction is named after a British chemist William Bamford and a Scottish chemist Thomas Stevens. In this reaction, the tosyl hydrazone react with a strong base to give the alkene. This is a tosyl hydrazone. It react with a strong base and we get the alkene. Now, how's the mechanism of this reaction? We will learn it further. Let us know about some concept before learning the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction. The first thing I have mentioned here, the solvent. The Bamford and Stevens reaction take place in the presence of the solvent. Generally, the two types of the solvents are used. Firstly is a protic solvent. Secondly is an aprotic solvent. The protic solvent is a solvent that has the labile H plus ion, or we can say that the solvent that has an hydrogen atom bound to the more electronegative atom are the protic solvent. For an example, water and alcohol. Secondly, the aprotic solvent. Any solvent that do not contain the labile H plus are the aprotic solvent. For an example, toluene, cyclohexane, or we can say that the solvent that has a hydrogen not bounded to the electronegative atom and that is not capable of the hydrogen bonding are the aprotic solvent. Secondly, I have mentioned here the concept of the E and the Z isomer. Why I am explaining this concept, you will later know while learning this reaction. Now, what is the Z alkene? If we give the priority to the groups attached to the carbon-carbon double bond, if the group of the higher priority, you can see here, if they are on the same side, then it is a Z alkene, or Z means together. If the groups of the higher priority are on the opposite side, then it is an E alkene. This is an E and the Z isomer. These two concepts are basically needed while learning the mechanism of this reaction. You will come to know it later. Now, moving towards the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction. The first step in the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction is the formation of the diazo compound. Now, the question is that how this diazo compound is get formed by the hydrazone. This is an hydrazone which is a substrate of the Bamford and Stevens reaction, and we know that this reaction takes place in the presence of the base. So what is the role of this base? This base will abstract the proton from here. As a result, the negative charge will create it due to the loss of the proton, and this nitrogen already contains the lone pair of the electron which will donate over here, and this group will free and we get a diazo compound as the first step in the Bamford and Stevens reaction. The tosyl hydrazone anion of the aliphatic and aromatic aldehyde and ketone undergo the thermal decomposition to form the diazo compound, that is a diazoalkane, via the alpha elimination. The fate of the diazoalkane intermediate are determined by the product analysis was found to be mainly dependent upon the nature of the solvent. That is, we can say the diazo compound react differently in the different solvent. That is, the intermediate form after the reaction of this diazo compound in the protic and the aprotic solvent are the different, which is basically depends on the nature of the solvent. In an aprotic media, the diazoalkane thermally decomposed by the loss of these nitrogen atom and we get a carbene, while in the protic solvent such as ethylene glycol, competitive protonation of the diazoalkane occur, leading to the diazonium, that is an carbanion ion. Since the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction is different in the two different solvent, it is the protic solvent and the aprotic solvent. Now let us know about the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction in the protic solvent. Now how this mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction differs in the protic solvent and how we get the carbanium ion as an intermediate. As we know, this is an hydrazone. We already learned that the first step is an diazo compound formation. We will again revise it. This base will abstract this proton. Later on, this group will be free and we get a diazo compound. This diazo compound get decomposed to the carbanium ion in the protic solvent. Now how it decompose? The diazo compound take a proton from the solvent. After that, after taking the proton, it will lose the nitrogen gas. Then it will form the carbocation, which we call as an carbanium ion. This carbanium ion loses the H plus ion. Here, after the losing, this bond will shift electron over here, as here is the positive charge. This will take this electron and we get a double bond, and that results in the formation of the alkene. So in the protic solvent, we get an intermediate, that is carbanium ion, and after that, after losing the hydrogen atom, we get a alkene. This is a mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction in the protic solvent. Nextly, now we will learn the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction in the aprotic solvent. I here not mention the formation of the diazo compound, as we know the first step is the formation of the diazo compound. After this diazo compound get, as here there is no source of the proton, the solvent is aprotic, this diazo compound get decomposed to the carbene as an intermediate. Okay, this here is a positive charge, this bond will shift over here. After that, this nitrogen gas will be free and we get a carbene as an intermediate. This carbene undergo 1,2 hydride shift. Here the 1,2 hydride shift take place, no loss of proton over here, and we get the alkene as the product. This is a mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction in the Now let us know about the regioselectivity of this reaction, that is, let us know which product will be the major product and which will be the minor product. In the Bamford and Stevens reaction, the major product is the more substituted alkene. Here, by seeing the example, you can clearly came to know that the major product is the highly substituted alkene is the major product. We generally know that the highly substituted double bond are the more stable. So the major product of the Bamford and Stevens reactions are the highly substituted alkenes. Second example is same of the Bamford and Stevens reaction. We getting here the alkene and the major product is an highly substituted, and this less substituted product is a minor product. Now second point which I have mentioned here is a stereochemistry, that is an arrangement of the atom, that is an arrangement of the product in the space. The firstly, this stereochemistry differs in the presence of the solvent. It is in an aprotic solvent we get a Z alkene as a major product, and in the protic solvent we get both Z as well as E alkene. The concept of the Z and the E alkene we learn in earlier slides. This is all about the stereochemistry and the regioselectivity of the Bamford and Stevens. Here I have explained some sort of examples of the Bamford and Stevens reaction. In the first example, this is a tosylhydrazone. After following the same mechanism which we have learned earlier, we get intermediate, that is an carbene, and after that carbene we get a product as an alkene. And in these example, you can see here this is a tosylhydrazone group. After solving this mechanism, here at this point we get a carbocation. As this carbocation is formed outside the ring, so deficiency outside the ring, this is a 3-member ring, it is a strain ring, so this ring will get expand and we will get this as a major product. Try to solve the mechanism of this reaction. Definitely you will get it after if you have learned completely the mechanism of the Bamford and Stevens reaction. Lastly, this is also the example of the Bamford and Stevens reaction. Try to solve the mechanism of all this reaction. So this was all about the Bamford and Stevens reaction which we learned till now. Now the next reaction I gonna explain here is the Shapiro's reaction. Moving towards the general scheme of the Shapiro's reaction. The Shapiro's reaction is discovered by the Robert H. Shapiro. After the name of the discoverer of this reaction is named as an Shapiro's reaction. This reaction is an organic reaction in which a ketone or aldehyde is converted to the alkene through the intermediate, that is an hydrazone. This is an hydrazone in the presence of the two equivalent of the organolithium reagent. Here the base which is used is an organolithium reagent, that is an organic base is used in this reaction and we get the alkene as the product. This is a general scheme of the reaction. This reaction is known as an tosylhydrazone decomposition. Why it is known as a decomposition? Because as we know, in the decomposition reaction is a reaction in which a reactant decomposes into the two or more simple product. Here the tosylhydrazone is get decomposed into the alkene. So this reaction is called as a decomposition reaction. Now we will learn the mechanism of the Shapiro's reaction. Now knowing about the mechanism of the Shapiro's reaction. The first step in the Shapiro's reaction is the formation of the tosylhydrazone by the ketone or aldehyde. In this step, the ketone or aldehyde react with the para-toluene sulfonyl hydrazide to form the para-toluene sulfonyl hydrazone, which is called as tosylhydrazone. This tosylhydrazone react with a base. Now what is this role of this base? This base will abstract the proton from here. It is the second step. The second step is the abstraction of the proton by the base from the hydrazone. Here the base which is used is an organolithium. After this again this N-butyl lithium again will abstract the proton, but from where the position is get changed. Here it will abstract the proton from the alpha carbon present at the alpha position to the hydrazone. From here this N-butyl lithium will abstract the proton and that result in the formation of the carbanion. So in the Shapiro's reaction, as we seen in the Bamford and Stevens reaction, only the one equivalent of the base were used. But in the Shapiro's reaction, the two equivalent of the base are used. Firstly, the base will require to abstract the proton from here, and in the second step, the base is required to abstract the proton from the alpha position to the hydrazone and result in the formation of the carbanion. This tosyl group will be free and we get a same diazonium diazoalkane as we get in the Bamford and Stevens reaction that undergo loss of nitrogen gas, and we get vinyl lithium as a product which undergo reaction with an electrophile that react with various electrophile, and even it can undergo simple neutralization to form the alkene. This is a mechanism of the Shapiro's reaction. We can revise this mechanism as ketone get converted into tosylhydrazone, which form the diazo compound, carbanion, loss of tosyl anion, loss of nitrogen forming the vinyl lithium that react with an electrophile that result in the formation of the alkene. Nextly, here I have again explained the mechanism of the Shapiro's reaction. Just to revise it, this ketone is get converted to the hydrazone. This N-butyl lithium will abstract the proton firstly from here, later on from the alpha position of the azo compound. This proton will abstracted, we get a carbon ion. Later on we get the nitrogen gas will be free, and we get a lithiated vinyl lithium as an species. That vinyl lithium can go reaction with a various electrophile. It may undergo reaction with an alkyl halide, forming the alkene substituted product, and that is alkylation is also possible over here, or it can undergo simple hydrolysis to form the alkene as the product. This is a mechanism of the Shapiro's reaction. Now I hope you all are learn with the mechanism of the Shapiro's reaction. Here I have explained some examples of the Shapiro's reaction. In a first step, this is a ketone converted into tosyl hydrazone, and we get this product after following the same mechanism which we have learned earlier over here. And this can undergo reaction with the alkyl halide, and we can gain again alkylation is also possible over here. This is one of the applications of the Shapiro reaction, and we can also get the simple alkene over here without the substituent present. And next, this is also example of the Shapiro's reaction, and we get a product that is an alkene, and this is also the example of the Shapiro's reaction. And butyl lithium, here the double bond is get formed. This all are the examples of the Shapiro's reaction. Again, try to solve the mechanism of all this reaction. Definitely you will get the Shapiro's reaction. So what I had done here, I have just do the comparison between the Shapiro's and the Bamford and Stevens reaction. The Bamford and Stevens reaction, we learn that it takes place in the presence of the inorganic base like NaOH, KOH, NaOET, NaOMe. These are all the inorganic base. While the Shapiro's reaction takes place generally in the presence of the organic base like a butyl lithium. In the Bamford and Stevens reaction, as we see, only the one equivalent base is used. But in the Shapiro's reaction, we need the two equivalent of the base. In the Bamford and Stevens reaction, we get the major product as a thermodynamic product. That is the product which is formed at a high temperature. While in the Shapiro's reaction, we get a product which is a kinetically stable product which is formed at a low temperature. In the Bamford and Stevens product, if we consider the reduced selectivity, the more substituted alkene is the major product, while in the Shapiro's reaction, the less substituted alkene is a major product. You can see by this example, it will be clear if the base, how to differentiate which is as we know in both this reaction the product are same, we get an alkene. So how to differentiate between the Bamford and the Stevens reaction? If on the arrow the inorganic bases are given and we are getting the product has a more substituted product, then it is definitely the Bamford and Stevens reaction. If on the arrow the organic bases are given and we are getting the product has a less substituted product, then it is definitely the Shapiro's reaction. Well, this was all about Bamford, Stevens and the Shapiro's reaction. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content which I have explained here, please subscribe my channel for the further updates. Thank you for watching. Any difficulties regarding this, post it on the comment.